Ladies and gentlemen, I've been looking for this story on Nashville, and some of you may have heard about the explosion. I actually heard about it as soon as I woke up this morning, and I was like, okay, why would somebody detonate a bomb on a holiday, a major holiday, at 6 something in the morning? And nobody's going to be out there. So I was looking at the latest on this. It's been really good drone shots on this thing, and so many people are looking at these stories. I pulled it up on my phone and my tab crashed. I have never heard of a tab crashing on the phone, but it did. I mean, that's crazy, but that just goes to show you a lot of people are following this story. So this came out on CNN. Possible human remains found near Nashville explosion site, law enforcement officials say. So they've been putting out story after story on this all day long, virtually. So this is the latest one, and it came out at 5:40 p.m. and it is 5:54 right now. So this is the most recent one that I was able to find. But I also want to show you some of these aerial shots they have of the explosion. And this was downtown Nashville early in the morning. And it was a parked RV that exploded. Okay, let me go ahead and see if I can play this audio. That's a commercial. So, I know they said they found what they believe are human remains in the area, and this was according to some law enforcement that's down on the ground.
The police department, its federal partners, the FBI, ATF, are conducting a large-scale investigation to this point.
All right, y'all. So it looks like 3 people were hospitalized after the explosion. They have 3 people that were hospitalized. So you heard some of the sounds after the explosion went off. So authorities found what they believe to be human remains near the site of the explosion. So let me show you some of these pictures here. And that's downtown Nashville, as you can see. So the explosion happened early in the morning on Christmas, according to 2 law enforcement officials familiar with the ongoing investigation. The remains have been sent to the medical examiner's office for analysis. CBS News reported information about the possible human remains. At least 3 people were injured and dozens of buildings were damaged. Yeah, and they had to really hose down those buildings, to prevent fire from spreading. And there's a lot of damage to those buildings. By what authorities said was likely an intentional act. Metro Nashville Police Department officers were responding to a call of shots fired around 5:30 a.m. And they found a motorhome. It was an RV parked in front of an AT&T transmission building at 166 2nd Avenue North. recorded message that indicated a bomb would explode in 15 minutes were heard from the coming RV. And this is according to Metro Nashville Police Chief John Drake. He said this at a news conference. And Nashville Vice Mayor Jim Schulman told CNN Anderson Cooper that a female voice was speaking in the warning message played from the RV before the explosion. There were a number of people who did evacuate, and then now we know some people didn't go off. According to the message, some people started coming back. So some people, I guess they probably were shocked. That's why they didn't move. I mean, you don't expect an explosion in the early morning hours on Christmas. Usually Christmas is quiet, especially downtown. Most people are at home. So officers saw no immediate evidence of shots fired. So they're saying, the report of shots fired may be false. But that's what initially was called in, but it was actually this explosion. Wow, look at that. Oof. What a mess. Okay, so officers saw no immediate evidence of shots fired, but requested the department's hazard devices unit and started to evacuate neighborhood residents, police said. The RV exploded at 6:30 a.m. Central Time as the bomb squad was responding, police spokesman Don Aaron said. Okay. We do believe this have been an intentional act, so they think this was on purpose, and I do too. Significant damage has been done to the infrastructure there on 2nd Avenue North. 3 people were transported to hospitals, but none were in critical condition, according to Nashville Fire spokesman Joseph Pleasant. The police tweet a photo of the RV and said it arrived on 2nd Street at 1:22 a.m. So I guess they got cameras down there, like most cities have cameras. I know the ones around me do. So I would imagine if they have the time, then they saw this thing on camera. And yeah, it looks like a typical RV. So the Nashville police did tweet, have you seen this vehicle in our area, or do you have information about it? So they have a phone number there, a hotline for people to call. The FBI field office in Memphis is leading the investigation, and Special Agent in charge, Matt Foster, urged the public to submit any tips or information. Okay, one witness said 3 vehicles were among the many objects on fire after